Hello students, welcome in today's lecture. We are discussing our point, that is the DNA fingerprinting. And in this point we have already studied in our previous lectures the different steps of this DNA fingerprinting. In the last lecture we have seen that the identification of the person with the help of restriction analysis technique is called as a DNA fingerprinting or DNA profiling. And for that the very short sequence of the DNA or very short nucleotide sequence of the DNA is required, and that sequence we have called it as a VNTR sequence, variable number tandem repeat sequence, which usually contains 20 to 100 base pairs. This sequence is only used for that technique, and that is called as a DNA fingerprinting technique. The different steps that we have studied are about the 7 steps. In that, first is the isolation of DNA. That DNA can be isolated from the various sources like blood, sperm, root hair, skin, semen, etc. Then second one is the restriction digestion. In that technique we have seen that this DNA can be broken down with the help of the restriction enzyme into the different fragments, that is called as a restriction fragment length polymorphism. Third one, we have seen that there will be another technique, and that technique is called as gel electrophoresis. On that technique there is electrical field current is applied there, and on the gel electrophoresis these DNA fragments can be separated according to their size. Next one is the technique that is called as Southern blotting, where the nitrocellulose paper or the nylon membrane is used for the soaking of that single-stranded fragments which are made in the gel electrophoresis. And then there is a selection of the DNA probe, that means the well or known sequence of DNA which is called as a probe. It may be obtained from the host organism or it may be prepared from the cDNA technology. That probe DNA then added to the Southern blotting on the nitrocellulose paper, and then there will be next step that is called as a hybridization. The complementary sequence of the probe DNA, if it is complementary to the single-stranded DNA on the nitrocellulose membrane, then there will be pairing, and that is called as a hybridization. And the last point is the photography. That hybridized DNA can be taken by the photography, or that photography can be carried out with the help of X-ray filmer, and thus we can give it as a final proof in a code, because the DNA fingerprinting technique is accepted as a final proof in the code, because if the photography is there of the DNA fingerprinting, then definitely it will be the final proof in the code. Okay, so this is about the different steps that we have seen in the DNA fingerprinting in our previous lecture. Now in this lecture we are going to study the applications of DNA fingerprinting. So this DNA fingerprinting is applied in the various branches, particularly in the branch that is called as a forensic science. So DNA fingerprinting's applications are there, and those applications now we are discussing it here. Okay, so the first application of this DNA fingerprinting is, that is, first application is this DNA fingerprinting can be used in a forensic science. In a forensic science. Then what is meant by forensic science? Forensic science means it is a science branch where the criminal cases investigation is there. Criminal cases are there and which are linked to the legal action. आता मी जसं तुम्हाला सांगितलं की एखाद्या केसमध्ये, मर्डर केसमध्ये, रेप केसमध्ये जर तिथं DNA फिंगरप्रिंटिंगचा पुरावा असेल तर तो फायनल पुरावा कोर्टमध्ये मानला जातो, आणि त्या सगळ्या ब्रँचला काय म्हणायचं, फॉरेन्सिक सायन्स. ज्याच्यामध्ये क्रिमिनल केस इन्व्हॉल्व आहेत, ज्याच्यामध्ये कोर्ट इन्व्हॉल्व आहे, लॉज इन्व्हॉल्व आहेत, लिगल ॲक्शन इन्व्हॉल्व आहे, दॅट इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ फॉरेन्सिक सायन्स. सो दिस fingerprinting is used in a forensic science to solve the problems of rape and murder cases. To solve problem of murder and rape cases. That means if any murder or rape is there, then at that time we can carry out the DNA fingerprinting in the respective ऑफ द रिस्पेक्टिव्ह पर्सन. खून झालेल्या व्यक्तीचा किंवा रेप केलेल्या व्यक्ती आयडेंटिफाय करण्यासाठी, शोधून काढण्यासाठी आपल्याला हे DNA फिंगरप्रिंटिंग या ठिकाणी उपयोगी पडतं. सेकंड वन इज इट इज यूज टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लेम ऑफ डिस्प्युटेड parentage. Problem of disputed parentage. Disputed parentage means that it is a case where the true parent of the particular child is not getting, or the true child of particular parent is not getting, and that's why it is called a disputed parentage. That means to identify a mother or a father of a child or both of a child, that technique is used. एखाद्या मुलाची खरी आई किंवा खरी वडील कोण आहेत हे शोधून काढण्यासाठी हे टेक्निक वापरलं जातं, किंवा एखाद्या पॅरेंटचा खरा मुलगा कोण आहे हे शोधून काढण्यासाठी हे टेक्निक वापरलं जातं. त्याला म्हणजे डिस्प्युटेड पॅरेंटेज. आणि याच्यानंतर याच्यामधलं तिसरं ॲप्लिकेशन आपल्याला सांगितलेलं आहे ते म्हणजे इट इज यूज इन पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस. इट इज यूज इन पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस of cat, dog, horses and human. Horses and human. Now पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस मीन्स वॉट? पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस म्हणजे आपल्याला सांगता येईल की एखाद्या फॅमिलीची हिस्ट्री जी शोधली जाते, दॅट इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस. मीन्स वॉट? तर त्यांचे खापर पणजोबा, आजोबा, आई वडील आणि मुलं एवढी जी त्यांची लिंक आहे त्याला म्हणायचं पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस. Why this pedigree analysis is required? To study the inherited diseases in that particular family, to study the inherited character in that particular family. This pedigree analysis is very important. एखाद्या फॅमिलीमध्ये एखादा असं कॅरेक्टर आहे जेनेटिक जे कंटिन्युअस जनरेशन टू जनरेशन पिढ्यानपिढ्या पास होते, हे जर स्टडी करायचं असेल तर त्यासाठी काय केलं तर पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस तयार स्टडी केली जाते. आणि फक्त पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस डिसीज स्टडी करण्यासाठी वापरली जाते असं नाही. दिस पेडिग्री ॲनालिसिस is also used for to study the pattern of inheritance of the gene in that particular family, how these genes are transmitted from their grandparents to parents, from parent to their children. That we can easily study it in this pedigree analysis technique, and for that DNA fingerprinting is used, because that DNA fingerprinting provide the information that how that gene can be transmitted from one generation to the next generation, what is the modification during the passing of that gene in the next generation, and that we have to observe in this pedigree analysis. So pedigree analysis means it is a family history technique, or it is a technique by which we can easily study the gene pattern, how it can inherit their importance, their modification, their changes, that can be easily studied in this pedigree analysis. So pedigree analysis of not only human being but of the cat, dog and horses can also be studied with the help of DNA fingerprinting, because during the study of pedigree analysis there is a requirement of in detail study of the DNA, and in detail study of DNA can be carried out in this DNA fingerprinting technique. So this is about the applications of the DNA fingerprinting. So which are the applications? DNA fingerprinting can be used to solve the cases of rape and the murder, that is the criminal cases where the particular person can be identified in the murder and rape case with the help of its identification of the DNA, that is the DNA fingerprinting. Second one is the disputed parentage. Disputed parentage means to identify the correct mother or father of a child, or both mother and father of a child, or opposite the parents of a child of that means finding the child of that particular parents. There is called as a disputed parentage case that can be solved by using this DNA fingerprinting. And third one is called as pedigree analysis technique, is generally used for study the pattern of the inheritance of the gene, to study the genetic disorder, and for that DNA fingerprinting is carried out, and that technique can be used for the cat, dog, horse and the human being. So this is about the DNA fingerprinting's applications. Other than it, it is used in the various branches, like for example to diagnose a particular disease. For example, any disease, if it cannot be diagnosed by a doctor, then At that time also, the DNA fingerprinting technique is carried out to detect the various severe diseases like cancer. At that time also, this DNA fingerprinting is used. So there are variety of applications of this DNA fingerprinting in agriculture, in the medicine, but few are given here, and those are the we have discussed here, that is the application. So here we have completed the part of DNA fingerprinting, its definition, its different stages, different steps, and then we have seen the application. One figure is given in our textbook for the DNA fingerprinting that can be easily understand how this DNA fingerprinting can be carried out. The figure is not important for the theory point of view. There is no necessity to draw this figure, but you should know the how DNA fingerprinting is carried out, and that's why here we will study the last part of this DNA fingerprinting, that is the figure of this DNA fingerprinting. In short, we will get the idea of this DNA fingerprinting. What is given here? See here, first there is shown one test tube, and in this test tube there are the DNA sample that we have seen that DNA can be collected from the various sources, so it is nothing but the DNA sample. It may be a blood, semen, sperm, skin, root hair, anyway. Okay, so it is a sample of DNA which has a DNA. That DNA is removed from that sample, and that DNA is purified. So this is the DNA, and which we call as a purified DNA. Why it is purified? Because you know that DNA of the eukaryotic cell is always associated with some histone protein and some non-histone protein. So we want only pure DNA. There is no need of study of that histone protein or other protein associated with DNA. So only DNA can be taken out, and the other macromolecules which are attached to DNA can be removed. That is called as a purified DNA. Next step is given, that is this DNA is cut by the enzyme, and that is called as a restriction enzyme. So restriction enzyme plays their role. It cuts the DNA and it makes the different fragments of DNA, and those fragments of DNA are called as the DNA fragments, or we call it as a restriction fragment length polymorphism, that phenomenon. So these are the purified DNA cut by the restriction enzyme, and there will be DNA fragments are there. Now this DNA fragment we have transferred it on another method, and the name of that method is called as electrophoresis. So next to this figure there will be one technique, and that technique is called as electrophoresis. That is shown here in this technique, where we can see that it is an electrophoresis technique. And what happened here? Here in our theory we have seen that different band formation will be there according to the size of this DNA. So you see the electrophoresis technique, where the particular electric current is applied on that DNA molecule, and according to which the charge or negatively charged DNA fragments can move towards the positively charged anode, and there will be band formation. There is also the double stranded DNA can be converted into the single stranded DNA by the alkali treatment. So this is the electrophoresis. Next to the electrophoresis, the next technique that is involved is called as a Southern blotting. It is a Southern blotting, and it is shown here in this figure. That is, this is the technique which we call as a Southern blotting. So we can say that it is Southern blotting, where we have transferred DNA on membrane. We have transferred this DNA on the membrane, and we have studied that membrane is a nitrocellulose membrane, nylon membrane of the nitrocellulose paper. So the fragments which are formed, the bands on the electrophoresis, then it is transferred in a technique that is called as Southern blotting, where you will see that these DNA fragments are transferred on a membrane. That membrane may be nylon membrane or the nitrocellulose paper, and that is called as a Southern blotting. Next to it, what happened in the after the Southern blotting, the technique is there, and that is called as a selection of DNA probe. So here we see that addition of DNA probe. addition of DNA probe, because we have seen that this known sequence of DNA is called as DNA probe, and this DNA probe then added on this nylon membrane or the nitrocellulose paper to observe whether there is hybridization takes place or not. And that's why here we are given the label that is the addition of DNA probe towards the Southern blotting technique. And the next step of this DNA fingerprinting is called as the hybridization. So this is the technique where you find the hybridization phenomenon. So it is the hybridization. And in this hybridization technique, what you will observe that if the probe DNA and the fragments which is separated by this electrophoresis technique, which are transferred on this nylon membrane, are of the same individual, then there will be hybridization. But if the probe DNA and the DNA fragments which are separated by this electrophoresis technique and transferred on the nylon membrane are of different person, then there will be no hybridization. So to check the hybridization, addition of DNA probe is there, and here you will find that there will be formation of the different structure. There will be pairing. If the person is the same, then that is called as a hybridization. And a photo of this hybridization can be taken out by X-ray filmer. So here, what is there? Here you will find that it is called as X-ray. Okay, student. So figure is very important. That explains how we can study in this DNA fingerprinting. DNA sample, from that sample DNA is removed, that is can be purified, that is purified by removing the different part from the DNA. Then restriction enzyme digest it into different fragments. These fragments are transferred on this technique, gel electrophoresis. From gel electrophoresis, fragments are transferred in the Southern blotting on a nitrocellulose or nylon membrane. On that Southern blotting, DNA probe is added. If the DNA probe and the DNA fragments of the nylon membrane are of same individual, there will be hybridization, and the photo of hybridization can be taken with the help of this X-ray film. So this is all about the DNA fingerprinting. It is very important for the NEET point of view as well as theory point of view. So number of questions are asked on this DNA fingerprinting. First, for the MCQ point of view, you should know the different steps of the DNA fingerprinting in sequential manner. Then, who first discovered the DNA fingerprinting technique? By scientist Alex Jeffrey, which is British genetics. Later on, in the India, Lalji Singh first explained this DNA fingerprinting. One more point is given in extra for the state board, that is the Lalji Singh isolated this DNA probe from the female branded crate snake, and from that he used the Y chromosome as a probe DNA. Okay, also in this technique we have seen that this is used in a different field, that is the forensic science, or it is can be used in different techniques. Okay, so all this about the DNA fingerprinting. Okay, now next point is that here we will now discuss the next point is the genomics. But one more thing is that the applications of DNA fingerprinting are asked for 2 marks, or the long question for 4 marks will be there, that is what is DNA fingerprinting, and give their applications or different steps. Okay, so next point of this molecular basis of inheritance, and that is called as the genomics, genomics human genome project, that we are going to discuss here. That is what is mean by genomics and the human genome project. So first point is from this molecular basis of inheritance, and it is the genome, and for that we study first point is genomics, and for this genomics we'll study first what is meant by genome. See here, this genome term was given by scientist Winkler, introduced by scientist Winkler. Next point is the genomics after DNA fingerprinting. In this genomics, we will study first what is meant by genome, then you can understand the meanings of genomics. The term genome was first introduced by the scientist Winkler. So you should know the name of the scientist Winkler first discovered the term genome. So what is the definition of the genome, or what is meant by genome? Genome is nothing but the total genetic constitution, the total genetic constitution of an organism. Total genetic constitution of an organism is called genome. Here the point that we are going to discuss now under the genomics is a little bit complex. It requires some additional information, so you should clearly listen this lecture, carefully listen this lecture, because the genome, that means the total genetic constitution of an organism. Then what is meant by genetic constitution? That means in any organism, maybe human being, maybe cat, rat, or any other organism, the genes, total genes which are present in that organisms are nothing but the genome. So genome means what? The genetic constitution of an organism is called as the genome. Genetic constitution of an organism is called as genome. In other words, we can say that this is the definition. So if the question is asked for one sentence, what is genome, then you have to write the definition: total genetic constitution of an organism. And in other words, we also say that genome means the total copy of DNA. Okay, so what is meant by genome? Total copy of gene, that we call as a DNA. Or we also say that the haploid, or we say that one set of chromosome, that we call it as a haploid or monoploid. Haploid or monoploid. So see here, all the genes which are present in particular organism is called as a genome. To understand the meaning of the genome better, the another two terms are given, that is the total copy of gene, means nothing but all the DNA of that person is called as the genome. Or we also say that if the only one set of the chromosome is considered, whether it is a haploid or one set, means you should know that when there is one set of the gene, it is called as haploid. Two set of gene, it is called as diploid. Three set of gene, it is called as triploid. Four set of gene, five set of gene, six set of gene. Like that, there are different sets of genes are present in a particular organism. If any one organism has only one set of chromosome, if the only one set of chromosome will be there, then it is called as a haploid or monoploid. If two set of chromosomes are there, then we call it as a diploid. Okay, so for example, if there is a study of the genome of the sperm or the study of the genome of the egg, then you should know that the sperm and the egg are the gametes which are always haploid, and all the genetic constitution of that sperm will be only the one set of chromosome, and that set of chromosome is called as haploid set or the monoploid set. म्हणजे स्पर्मचा किंवा एगचा जर जेनेटिक स्टडी करायचा असेल, त्या ठिकाणी त्याचा जीनोम स्टडी करायचा असेल, तर तो जीनोम कुठला असणार आहे? फक्त हॅप्लॉइड किंवा मोनोप्लॉइड. कारण आपल्याला माहित आहे स्पर्म मध्ये किंवा एग मध्ये एकच सेट क्रोमोझोमचा असतो, अँड दॅट इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ हॅप्लॉइड सेट ऑफ क्रोमोझोम. पण जर टोटल ह्युमन बिईंगचा विचार केला तर ह्युमन बिईंग मध्ये तुम्हाला दोन सेट क्रोमोझोमचे पाहायला मिळतात, त्याला आपण म्हणतो डिप्लॉइड सेट. म्हणून याचं मिनिंग लक्षात घ्या. जीनोम म्हणजे डेफिनेशन तुमच्या लक्षात आली असेलच, पण जीनोमचं आणखीन व्यवस्थित क्लिअर करण्यासाठी पॉईंट आपल्याला सांगितलेलं आहे. इन अदर वर्ड वी मे से दॅट इट इज अ टोटल कॉपी ऑफ जीन or it is total copy of DNA of that organism, or if that organism is haploid, then we can say that the haploid set of gene can be studied in a genome, because it is haploid, and that's why haploid set is considered only. Okay, so if the question is asked for genome, then you have to only write this definition, and the meaning of it is given here. So this is about the genome. Now we'll see what is meant by genomics. The point is given here, genomics. So next to genome, we have to see the definition of this genomics. And in the genomics, the point is that after the genome, the genomics states that, see here, this genomics term was coined by the scientist Roderick. And this genomic is definition. So definition will be given for this genomics. And what is meant by the genomics? See, the definition is given in our textbook. That is genomics. It is study of. It is the study of genome through. It is the study of genome through analysis, sequencing, and mapping of genes along with the study of their functions. Okay, so this genomic term was given by scientist Roderick. And see here, according to this Roderick, what is means the term is given by Roderick, but sorry, according to the genomics, what is the genomics? Genomics means the study of genome. Genomics means the study of genome through analysis, sequencing, and the mapping of genes. So three terms are very important, that is analysis, sequencing, and mapping of genes. So this is very important. In genomics, what is studied detailed? The analysis, sequencing, and mapping of gene. See here, analysis, mapping, and sequencing, these terms are related to the genomics. Analysis means in detail study of that gene. Okay, suppose the person is studying the genomics of the human being. Okay, so in human being there is a diploid set of chromosome. So that diploid set can be taken out from the body of that organism, and that set of genes are separated. The set of genes are very clearly separated. That is called as analysis. There is a sorting of the gene. Then the sequencing. Then there will be studied how the genes are located on that particular chromosome of the human being. Where is its loci, where is its position, how they are organized on that the chromosome. That means the arrangement of the genes. The arrangement of the genes on the DNA, or the DNA carrying the genes, how it is located at a different position, that can be called as a sequencing. And the mapping of gene, mapping means there is a distance between the two genes, and that distance can be mapped in this technique. So see here, the study of genome through analysis. If this is the DNA, then that DNA can be isolated outside from the body of that organism or the cell of that organism, that can be studied. It is easily analyzed how the fragments of the DNA are there, how that DNA can be organized in a different pattern, that is called as an analysis. Okay, in detail there will be study of the DNA takes place. Then sequencing, that means this DNA carries the genes, so how the sequence of genes are there on that DNA, that can be studied here, and that is called as the sequencing of the gene. And the mapping of gene means the distance between the two genes is called as the mapping of genes. Sometimes the two genes are very close to the DNA fragment, sometimes the two genes are far away from the two genes are far away from each other on the fragment. So what is the distance between the two genes? That is called as the mapping of the genes carried out in the genome. And not only the analysis, sequencing and the mapping of gene is carried out, but also there will be the study of their functions. So which genes are present on that DNA, that can be understood very well by the sequencing, analyzing and the mapping. But also there will be also study the function of the genes. Suppose in this analysis and sequencing and mapping of the genes, there will be identification of the different genes on that DNA fragment, and also in detail study of the each gene is carried out in the genomics. That means suppose this fragment is taken here, they are studied very well that this gene is important for which function in the human being, second gene is function, which function is carried out in the human being. So study of each genes which are present on the DNA fragment can be also carried out in relation to their function, because you know that the genes has different functions in our body, and those different functions can be understood very well with the help of the genomic. Today whatever the knowledge is with us about this gene is only due to this genomics, because scientists studied this genomics very well, or the genome of the human being studied, and according to which he found that there are different functions are related to the genes, and these functions of the genes are studied in detail in this genomics. So see here, you should understand the term genomics, that genomics term was given by scientist Roderick, and what Roderick tells us, that is, and this genomics tells us it is the study of the genome. And what is genome? Genome is the genetic constitution of an organism. So study of genome through how the genome can be studied, through their analysis, through their sequencing, through their mapping along with the function of their gene. So definition is very important to study the genome, through analysis, mapping, sequencing. You should study by serially, that is the analysis, sequencing and the mapping of gene along with their function, that is called as the genomics. So Roderick gives the term of genomics, and this is the point of the genomics. Now here we have to see that the lot of information about the genome today we have, it is due to the different experiments carried out by the different scientists on different organisms. So before study of this human genome, there will be a study of the genome of cat, dog, horse, sheep, pig is carried out, and then only we have studied the genomes of the human being. So up to this you have get the idea about what is genome and what is genomic. Now the next point is that there, before studying the genomes of the human being, the genome of the other organism is studied, and that here we have to see under the point genomics. So next to it, what is there? That is the, some example is given here. Yeast, Drosophila, yeast, then Drosophila, and the next animal is mouse. Here the genome of yeast is a unicellular fungi, Drosophila which is called as a fruit fly, मराठी मध्ये आपण चिलट म्हणतोय, and mouse. These are the three organisms on which first there will be, on these three organisms first there will be carried out the sequencing of the genome. There will be carried out the sequencing of the genome, and it is only because after carrying out the sequencing study of the genome of the yeast, Drosophila and mouse, it is possible to study the genome of the human being and their comparative study of the genome of the human being with other organism. या वाक्याचा अर्थ काय होतो? पहिल्यांदा काय केलं गेलं तर ईस्ट मध्ये, ड्रॉसोफिला मध्ये आणि माउस मध्ये जीनोमचा सिक्वेन्स बघितला गेला, त्यांच्या जीनचा सिक्वेन्स बघितला गेला, कसे जीन्स या ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये अरेंज झालेले आहेत वेगवेगळ्या पॅटर्न मध्ये, ते स्टडी केले गेले. दीज आर द प्रिमिटिव्ह ॲनिमल दॅन द ह्युमन बिईंग. आणि यांचा स्टडी केल्यानंतर त्यांना हे इझी झालं की जिनोम ऑफ द ह्युमन बिईंग अँड द अदर ऑर्गॅनिझमचा कम्पॅरेटिव्ह स्टडी करण्यासाठी. म्हणजे कम्पॅरेटिव्ह स्टडी आधी त्यांनी या ऑर्गॅनिझमचा केला अँड देन दे हॅव स्टडीड द जिनोम ऑफ द ह्युमन बिईंग अँड दे कॅन आयडेंटिफाय द डिफरन्स बिटवीन द जिनोम ऑफ द ह्युमन बिईंग अँड द जिनोम ऑफ दिस ऑर्गॅनिझम. म्हणजे त्यांना काय लक्षात आलं की ह्युमनच्या जिनोमची अरेंजमेंट कशी आहे आणि जिनोम ईस्टमध्ये, ड्रॉसोफिलामध्ये आणि माऊसमध्ये कसा आहे हा कम्पॅरेटिव्ह स्टडी त्यांना करता आला. म्हणून त्यांनी आधी कम्पॅरेटिव्ह स्टडी कुणाच्या जिनोमचा केला, माऊसचा, ड्रॉसोफिलाचा आणि ईस्टचा, आणि मग ह्युमनचा जिनोम स्टडी केला. आणि दोन्ही जिनोममध्ये ह्युमनच्या आणि ॲनिमलच्या काय डिफरन्स आहे तो त्याला इझिली आयडेंटिफाय करता आला. आणि याच्यावरून सांगता आलं की हाऊ द जिनोम्स ऑफ द ह्युमन बिईंग्स आर डिफरंट from the genome of the other organism. So this line indicates the meaning that how the genomes of the human being are different from the genomes of the other organisms. Okay, त्यानंतर आपल्याला काय सांगितलं आहे त्यांनी, not only they carried out the experiment on the Drosophila mouse and yeast, but also some additional genome they are studied to study in detail the genome of the human being, and for that they also use some microbes, bees, tomato and other crops. That means for in detail study they use the microbes. There are different microorganisms like E. coli bacteria, other bacteria, fungi, protozoans. So for the study of the genome they use different types of the microbes. They studied in detail the genome of different microbes. They studied in detail the genome of bees. Bees means honeybee. They studied in detail the genome of the tomato, which is a plant, and other crops. For to study in detail the genome of the human being, how the genome of the human being is different from other organism, they have to search this, and that's why they studied not only the Drosophila mouse, yeast, but also they studied different type of crops including tomato, then bees, and then also they studied the different types of the microbes. Okay, and then only they can get clear idea about the genome of the human being or the relation of this genome of the human being to the other organism. So next to it, under this term genomics, what is there? That is mean by so this genomic study, the study of genomics can be classified into two types. Study of genomics can be classified into two types. One is called as the structural genomics. One is called as structural genomics and other one is called as functional genomics. Genomic study can be classified into two types. One is called as structural genomics and other one is called as the functional genomics. Structural genomics and the functional genomics. Structural genomics includes mapping, sequencing and analysis of gene. While functional genomics includes study of function of all gene sequences and their expression in organisms. Okay, see here the most important point is that the genomics study has two important branches, that is called as, one is called as structural genomics and another one is called as a functional genomics. Structural genomics means what? Where the structure of that particular genome can be studied by the mapping, sequencing and the analyzing of that gene. Here we have seen in the definition of the genomics that genomics is the study of the genome through analysis, mapping and sequencing of the gene and their related function. But here in the structural genomics, what is important there, that is the first, the study of that particular genome is studied structurally, and in that the genes mapping, gene sequencing sequencing and genes analyzing is carried out. That is called as the structural genomics. And in the functional genomics, function of that particular genes is carried out, and what is or functional of that particular gene is studied, and in that study of function of all the gene sequence and their expression in organism. That means suppose we have seen that if this is the DNA part, on this DNA part different genes are organized there. The distance between the two genes, analysis of two genes, sequence of two genes is carried out in the structured genome. But the in detail function of the each gene, in detail function of the each gene is studied well in this functional genomics. So if the function is related, then it is function genomic. If the structure is related, it is in the structure genomics. So genomics, as the question may be asked, that the study of the analysis, mapping and sequencing of gene is included in, then it is the structure genomics. The function of the each gene in the genomics is carried out in the functional genomics. So all this about the structural genomics and the functional genomics. Okay, so this is about the genomics. Now next the part of it is the functions of the genomics, or we call as the applications of this genomics. That means where this genomics can be used, or where the study of this genomics is important in the field of agriculture, in the field of medicine, in the field of biotechnology. That here we are going to discuss. So before it, see students, before going to study in detail the applications of genomics, the part that we are going to discuss today is very complicated one, because number of students cannot get clear about what is genome, what is genomic. So this part is again we are going to revise here. See here, genome is nothing but the genetic constitution of an organism. Okay, if that organism is diploid, then diploid set of the genome can be studied there. If that organism is haploid, then a haploid set of genome is studied there. So total genes of that organism. If the cell is removed, for example sperm is removed, then only haploid set of chromosome can be studied, and that is called as a genome. Okay, so genome is the complete copy of DNA, or whether the single or the double set of the chromosome, that is called as the genome. Okay, genomics means what? The study of genome is carried out in that branch, that is called as a genomic. But how the study of genome is carried out? By its analysis, by its sequencing, by its mapping. Three terms are very important: analysis, sequencing and the mapping. Analysis means that genes can be separated, they can be sorted out, their study can be easy, that is called as analysis. Okay, sequencing means what? How the different genes are present there, how their arrangement is there, which type of the nucleotides are there, that is called as a sequencing. And the mapping means arrangement of the genes which are present on this chromosome or which are present on the DNA, how the different genes have the distance in between them, whether the genes are very closely associated or genes are very far away from each other, that is called as the mapping of the gene. So sequencing, analyzing and the mapping of gene and their related function. After this term sequencing, mapping and analysis, the function of the each gene is carried out. That means here we can know that which gene carries which function in the human being, and that all things are related to the genomics. Again we have seen that to study in detail the genome of the human being, number of experiments first carried out on the other organism, and it includes the mouse, yeast, Drosophila. First the sequence of the yeast, Drosophila and mouse genome is studied, then they can get idea about the sequence of the genome in the human being and the other organism. Also they studied the genomes of the different microorganisms, different bees, different types of plants like tomato, other crops, and also they can study the difference between the genome of the human and the genome of the human and the genome of the other organism. म्हणजे बाकीच्या ऑर्गॅनिझमचा जिनोम स्टडी केल्यामुळं ह्युमनच्या जिनोममध्ये आणि बाकीच्या ऑर्गॅनिझमच्या जिनोममध्ये काय फरक आहे तो त्यांना इझिली स्टडी करता आला. हिअर दे नॉट ओनली स्टडी ओनली द जिनोम, बट ऑल्सो दे स्टडी द जिनोम ऑफ द अदर ऑर्गॅनिझम. आणि स्टुडंट Thus, here we have completed in our lecture, that is the genome and genomic part. Okay, in next lecture, in detail, we study the applications of the genomics and what is meant by Human Genome Project. Thank you.